Let's do the damn thing. Hell yeah.
Let's do this thing. Let's do it. Are you ready to start it?
Yeah.
Okay, I already started it.
Okay. So,
Okay.
we own.
We're on. We're on not
bitches.
one, but we're on two.
Yeah. Wholehearted Entertainment.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy.
Yo, I think your mic's shorting out, dude.
Yeah, man. The mic's messing up. Just be cool, man. Hold on a second. Just be cool. Be cool.
Nah, dude, I was just letting you know.
Okay, just be cool. Can you hear me?
I am being cool. Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. I didn't know he was being cool or not.
I was being cool by letting you know you had a problem.
I was being cool since before you was born. You ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Oh. You've heard somebody actually say that?
Yeah.
I've heard people say, I've been doing this since before you was born. I've heard that before.
Hell yeah.
Do you think that they was being cool before we was born?
I think coolness has just been...
You think coolness is hereditary?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think coolness is hereditary. That's like it's in your genes to be cool.
Yeah. I know what hereditary means.
Okay. I was just about to say be cool again, but we'll just be cool together.
Hell yeah.
So what you been up to, Skyler Jarvis?
Well, here recently I've been doing a podcast series. It's called Blind Lives Matter.
On the Skyler Jarvis Show?
On the Skyler Jarvis Show. So for those of you who watch Wholehearted Entertainment, please go check this out. This is very important to me that you spread this, spread this information. Spread what we're talking about. We got an episode coming out Friday with my friend Natasha.
Shout
out. That's going to be good. Shout out, Natasha.
Shout out to Natasha. Shout out to you, Natasha.
Yeah, shout out, Natasha. So, a lot of people probably going to wonder why I called this series Blind Lives Matter. And
yeah, why did you?
For me, it was more of a tongue-in-cheek thing. It was more along the lines of, we have organizations like Black Lives Matter, and over time it turned into something just crazy instead of just being
what it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Being what people thought that it was. But it ain't what people thought that it was.
No. But my point being, if we have groups like that are spreading that for black people, why is there not a group for blind people that are trying to help improve things for blind people?
Yeah, why is that? So you just decided to go on about it.
Exactly. And so I got some of my friends. Natasha is from California. Shazan's from Clayton, I think it is.
Clayton where?
Yeah.
Clayton where?
I think it's still in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So
I got you.
I don't necessarily know like roundabout.
Shout out to
Shazan. Shout out Shazan. He's funny as shit.
Yeah, you're cool, dude.
So I had him on the podcast recently. And
yeah, that's cool.
We got into some stuff. We talked about some pretty controversial things
through the phone. Yeah, we talked on you talked on the phone. I think that's pretty cool. I think that we can probably work on it.
Yeah.
Figure something else out, maybe.
I mean,
but it's
a
cool.
Good starting point.
Well, even then, it records it pretty good. It records the audio of it pretty good. We got it set up, how it's recording through the mic.
And I remember the first time we tried to do that with Shazan, and I kept trying to hold the mic up to.
Did you like how it was set up last time?
I did, man, because the message, was coming through on Shazan. You could hear Shazan clearly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you could with the last one too, and the one with Natasha. But it's not.
Very much.
It will be out. Well, this will come out at 9. Yours comes out at 12.
Yeah.
So it'll be today. But most people probably watch it after.
So yeah.
So yeah, you guys.
So
just be cool.
If y'all watch this in Wholehearted Entertainment, when it comes out at 9,
then you should watch that whenever it comes out at 12.
Then you should watch the one with Natasha when it comes out at 12. Exactly.
That even gives you an hour break in between, possibly, maybe even longer. We don't know how long this one's gonna be. We're just getting into it.
We're
doing whatever we think is what it's supposed to be done.
So, dude, so this
is it.
What I'm trying to say is I've got people from around blind people from around the globe. See,
you got hoes in different area codes.
Yeah, so California, dude.
Okay, be cool.
So, California, Natasha's from California.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to draw attention to the fact that it was happening even somewhere like that. You know, it something just beyond.
It's a worldwide issue.
Exactly. Something that I could, I can just give my perspective on stuff like that. But
so what exactly is it that you're spreading awareness of?
Well, mainly blind unemployment and basically the way blind people get treated in the school systems, in the workplaces, stuff like that, man.
You're talking about just in general.
Yeah.
So you view yourself as a voice for blind people.
I'm trying to be, man. I really want to be somebody who can draw attention to stuff like that, because I was always being the voice at my school, when stuff needed saying in the student body, I was always trying to help people get it across. And, I feel like a lot of blind people nowadays are afraid to speak up because it's something that doesn't really get brought up. And, some of the people who's been through some of this stuff, it's personally, hard for them because you never know what they're going through, what their walk of life might be,
Yeah.
And the fact that most blind people are still living with their parents is saying something. It's, we can't really get out and do something and make something of ourselves. We have to sit and depend on our parents and other people, around us.
Yeah.
When if the jobs would just let us in and let us prove ourselves instead of going off a stereotype of a blind guy just not wanting to do anything because he's blind, and if they would just get over the stereotype and let some of these blind people in that I know work really friggin' hard at their jobs.
For sure.
I do think it's something that needs to be talked about, and we don't really see a lot of people talking, and even if they want to, they don't know how to speak up about it.
Yeah, that's a big part of it too.
It's
That's with like a lot of issues that people have. Not just that. It's not just exclusive to that, but that is also an area as well of other areas in life that people have problems with or struggle with, and then they don't know how to express themselves in a way that other people understands them.
Right, because especially it can be harder for blind people because sighted parents might not know how we're thinking about things. And like they don't. They take the sight they have for granted, and this is just the way I look at it, because they haven't. To us, it's normal. Especially the people that are born blind, it's normal. We've always been like this, so we can't draw any comparisons to really illustrate how we're feeling.
Yeah.
Compared to what you see on a daily basis, and then compared to what,
and then your perception of what
our perception of it is exactly.
Yeah, because that's a big. People don't even think about it. People don't even think about what they see.
No, and that's one of the things,
and just their abilities. They take it for granted what they got.
That's one of the things that really inspired me to do the Blind Lives Matter thing, because when I did the Living the Blind Life, there was a good reaction to it. I think it's already got like 70 views. By the way, anybody on Wholehearted Entertainment, go back and watch Living the Blind Life, and then the first Blind Lives Matter episode, and then
on the Skyler Jarvis show,
and then the second one when it comes out today. So, yeah.
Shout out to Skyler Jarvis.
But anyway, in that episode, it was just me speaking what I felt and how I felt for 3 years, and basically saying like, hey, I now I have a platform to say something.
Yeah.
But many other blind people across the globe might not have that opportunity.
Yeah, they may not.
This opportunity it just came. I feel like if you would have told me a year ago, Carson, that I would be doing podcasts right now,
you would tweak out. You'd be like, what?
I would probably think you're full of shit.
Geek.
I would probably think you're full of shit or something.
Sometimes I am.
And that's what really
pulled your cord, ain't it?
Right. And whenever I did the Living the Blind Life and I just went off, that was me expressing what I had felt in those 3 years.
Yeah. He was really feeling it.
Just sitting at home, contemplating, just thinking about a lot of things, a lot of things in my life.
And then you was like, man, I'm gonna have to find some way to channel this.
Yeah, I mean, it was more like I wanted out of the situation, and I was so determined. I was like, man, I wish I could just pack up and leave Taylorsville. And
yeah,
it was like, for me, I was depressed almost every day. I didn't have nothing to do. I was just sitting at home all the time. And then, 2023, a big thing happened, which, I'm not really going to go into detail about that, but, that kind of played a role into it, and then I started getting more depressed.
Oh,
last year.
Be cool.
And then, the incident with Chase happened, and then, that really brought me back to earth and made me start thinking like, hey, you've got somewhere to stay.
You got
right
somewhere
now.
where you need to be.
Your mom and your grandma and papa, yeah. That's, if you were to go and move to Taylorsville like you've been saying you just wish you could do, what would you
from
do?
Taylorsville?
What would you do? How would you survive?
Yeah, you start getting into the logistics of everything.
Exactly. It made me question a lot of shit what Chase was going through.
What happened with him?
Well,
you wasn't going to go into it?
No, because it involved, it was.
That's okay.
I'll just say this, dude. Chase, me and Chase kind of got a little pissed with each other.
Oh, hell.
He got a little pissed at me and then
started cussing each other.
Yeah, well, he started cussing me. But, I mean, this shit's all in the past. And,
yeah, it's all in the past.
But anyway, that, he moved to South Carolina for a little bit. And let's just say he kind of...
He rubbed off the wrong biscuit, didn't
he? He was barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, hell.
Hell, yeah.
Damn, Chase.
I mean, I'll leave
You'll
that
just leave
for
it
Chase.
at that.
Yeah, I'll just leave that for Chase to say to you.
Yeah, we don't want to say too much.
When I get you introduced to Chase. When I get my
hands on you?
No, dude. When I get you introduced to Chase.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to talk to you. I'll talk to you, Chase.
So
we're just being funny.
That situation really made me think about my situation and where I was at. And then once I started thinking about stuff like that, it started really dawning on me, dude, that I was I needed to be more appreciative of what I had. And then once I realized that, doors started opening up. I started working at this place, Finding Hope Ministries, and then, stacking books there.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So
it really gave you something to look to.
It did. And that, and then I was doing that for a little bit, and then Chris came along.
Shout out Chris.
And I had the previous owners of Brushy introduced me to him, and he was really interested in seeing me play. Mama showed him a video of me sitting there playing, and
you need to play some more.
I know, man. I really want to. But he seen me play, and he was just like, man, I love watching you play. And he booked me for a gig on March 30th. And, of course, how was I going to say no? This was my chance to prove myself.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most gratifying days of my life. I mean, my mama and papa came to watch me, my whole family, basically. We had the bar packed.
Yeah.
It was
lit and out of control.
It was a good night. Me
it was.
Chris hung out the whole day, and it was a memorable day. And like I said, if you would have told me it last October, I would have laughed in your.
You would have just straight up laughed in my face.
If I would have,
you would have told me to just be like, "Eat shit, dude."
Yeah, exactly. I probably would have said that, because I would have been like,
"What the
dude,
fuck?"
If I'm here now, how am I gonna be doing fucking podcasts?
You'd be like, podcast? I'm gonna be doing podcasts in the next year.
Go eat shit. Piss off.
Damn, man, you was gonna really do that to me?
No, I mean, it's
the truth.
I'm
just speaking your mind, man. I got you.
No, dude, I'm just fucking with you, dude.
I like finishing each other's sentences.
I know, and
you're getting fed the fuck up with it, ain't you?
Well, not fed up. I'm just trying to explain myself, dude.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to explain myself, and you keep interrupting me.
But be
cool.
It's like doors started opening up after.
Yeah.
After all of that, and then Chris obviously getting me in touch with you, and then doing the Wholehearted Entertainment. I'm always going to be loyal to Wholehearted Entertainment, because no Wholehearted Entertainment, no Skyler Jarvis Media. That's the way I look at it.
Skyler Jarvis.
Because and when people came to see me at the concert or at the bar, and they were always everybody was like, it's the Skyler Jarvis band, and I kept trying to tell everybody, like, dude, I really appreciate that you like me enough
to want to name the band after me.
But I'm like,
I ain't doing
that.
The
way I look at it is, I am nothing without that band on stage. If I wouldn't have had those guys, that jam night wouldn't have been shit, because they got me there, and Chris got me there, and to be playing with somebody and be hanging out with the band and all that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was so surreal, dude. I cannot describe how it felt.
Really? Felt pretty crazy. Insane.
It felt like my life was finally going somewhere, dude.
Yeah, man. How long have you been playing the drums? How long have you known the drums?
Bro, I've
was about your age.
Dude, no. I've always been drawn to the drums in a way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your calling. Your calling is the drums.
So, for me, you
got your heart in it.
Dude.
Your soul.
No, dude. I remember hearing Creedence for the first time. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Shout out. Yeah, those guys are cool.
And, the drums were more in your face. And, it wasn't like hard rock drums or anything like that.
It was still smooth.
It was still smooth, but it was like they were in your face.
For sure.
In a way. But, when I went from Creedence to hearing Avenged Sevenfold, Nightmare, And
Whoa.
and you know the start of that song, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, that song,
Makes it go crazy.
No, dude, I was sitting there like, whoa, you can do that with a drum set?
You can.
And,
And you can now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it all started with Avenged Sevenfold, dude. I remember hearing that double bass groove.
It was like, damn, I want to do that.
Fucking A. I want to play like the Rev. I want to.
You're like, fuck.
I want to just go ham on the fucking double bass.
Like, fuck, I want to do that. I want to do that so bad.
And I remember getting my first double bass, and I was just like,
You was happier than a chipmunk.
dude, I was playing like all the songs I was into at the time, and trying to play like these fast ass songs.
So yeah. So whenever you're playing and you're listening to the song too, do you try to play exactly how the drums are in the song, or do you switch it up?
Sometimes I most of the time I like to switch it up, but I try to stick to the bass. The basic, notes and stuff that, that...
Just like the basic patterns.
Right.
Yeah. That are going to be... But you can... when to switch them up if you can.
Right.
If you wanted to.
Right. So, that... I've always been used to just playing with my headphones and just rocking the fuck out on the back porch or in the building, to my dad's building, and I would just go crazy, and most of the time when I'm playing the drums, and I just get in that zone where I'm just playing right along with the music.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm in the zone, and I can get to where I don't miss a fucking note.
Yeah.
And if I do, I just keep going because I'm
so
in the
locked
mood.
in.
I'm so locked in when I do that, dude.
Man.
Yeah.
You think something takes over you and you just go ham.
The music, dude. The music.
The music it grabs your soul.
It does, and it's like I let the music take me. When I'm on the drums, I let the music take me.
Whoa, that sounds scary. Be cool, man.
Well, it's not. It's not scary, dude. I mean, it's just.
It's just what it is.
That's what drummers are supposed to do.
You're just supposed to feel the rhythm.
Feel the rhythm.
Feel the vibration.
Like I said on one of these earlier podcasts on Wholehearted Entertainment, I was like, the drum set's an extension of my body, and like I was.
You are a drum set.
Yeah.
We should dap up on that, bro. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That was cool. It was cool.
So
yeah, you basically are a drum set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. And we could probably just wrap it up right there. But we ain't going to.
But
anyways,
all these doors opening up, dude, and right now
is the time.
No, dude. Right now, I'm so happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And, doing the podcast and just having a good time with it.
Having a good time. I like that.
And, just getting creative like the whole Blind Lives Matter thing. It's an opportunity for me to try something different. And, by the way, the response of the first episode is... It's got me so fucking excited.
These people are awesome, ain't they?
It's got me so excited for what's to come. Yeah.
Yes.
It's got me really
got
pumped.
you tore
I
up.
can't wait to see what the reaction to the second one is gonna be.
It's got to be good.
Yeah.
Y'all got to do good.
Me and Natasha got into some really deep
real shit.
Exactly. So
I like that, man. You're on to something. I think that you're on to something here, Skyler.
I really appreciate it, man. I feel like I'm on to something. Like if it's done right.
If it's done right, then it needs to be done.
And I'm trying to get one of my teachers on here. Miss Robinson, Michelle Robinson. Do you know her?
No.
Huh?
I very well could know her though. I could get to know her.
Well, yeah. Well,
you got a number?
well, you're probably gonna get to meet her this weekend, I think.
Really?
Because I really want to get her on the podcast.
Is she hot?
Dude, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she could. She
very well could be.
Very well, yeah.
We really don't know. We really don't know.
She was a good teacher, and that's
is
one
she
of the,
still a good teacher? Does she teach?
I don't. Yeah, I think she does.
I ran into one of my teachers the other day that was from high school, and she retired. She said that she had retired.
Yeah, there's
shout
a lot
out.
Of people.
It was Kim Brown. Shout out to Kim Brown.
Shout out Kim Brown.
Kimberly Brown. Shout out. We're gonna try to get her on the podcast too. Shout out Kim Brown. Come on. Somebody knows Kim Brown. If y'all know Kim Brown,
somebody knows Michelle Robinson.
If y'all know these people, get in touch with them and tell them to get in touch with me or Skyler.
Yeah, I mean we could do
anything.
We could do the Blind Lives Matter episode,
yeah.
And I think Miss Robinson, because she helped me very much in my 1st and 5th grade years.
Yeah,
and Miss Houston, she was always in there making sure I had assignments. It was those teachers, especially in my elementary years,
that would go one-on-one with
I will say, middle school up was, middle school was just kind of where I ran into most of the, discrimination and trying to get out of doing things.
Yeah.
Most of the teachers in my elementary school were 100% behind me learning and doing with the rest.
I thought you were just gonna say 100% behind.
They were really good teachers, all 5 of them.
Shout out to all 5 of those teachers and the other ones that you didn't even think about that were good.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Crooks. He was one of the middle school teachers that really did try to help me the best he could.
Mr. Crooks.
Mr. Crook, Alex Crooks.
He wasn't a crook.
As far as I know, he wasn't.
As far as we know. Skyler, I really think that in the future you'll get into politics. I feel like that
really do.
I really do. I really think that you'll probably start getting into politics.
Why is that?
I don't know. You just have good answers. Like whenever I ask you. Oh gosh, man, the mic. Oh man, we're about to have another mic situation. Because man, whenever I ask you answers, sometimes you just don't give me a direct answer. And politicians do that. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Usually, if the person, feels like that they got a satiating answer, I mean, sometimes interviewers just skip over it. Sometimes the interviewers will ask the politician something, or just even being in politics in general whenever they're making laws or whatnot. Like I
don't think I'd make a good politician.
Or they just ask you a question.
I'd be saying a lot of stuff people don't agree with.
Yeah. No, I feel like if you got more educated about it, if you learn more about it.
Well, yeah.
I think that we can all be more educated about stuff, especially politics.
I feel like, all the COVID shit that was going on.
Yeah.
It really got me, at first I was just this fucking angry at the whole Democratic regime, just fuck anything Democrat. I was deep into it. I was really deep into it. Like when we get them, how we get them things in the mail that we support Trump, support Joe Biden,
yeah,
that shit. And we got some in the mail for Joe Biden.
Yeah,
and I was just joking in the car, and I said I really want to tear that thing up and burn it.
Golly.
I want to tear it up and burn it.
Did you?
No, dude. So what happened was, I said it and didn't really think about it. I was just like, man.
I was like, man, I don't care about it.
Yeah. I don't really care whether
Whether
you
it's
save
left
it
or right
whether
or
you
up
don't.
or down.
I don't really know, dude.
I don't really give a shit.
Dude.
Dude.
No, I was saying that like I don't care if you save it or not.
Yeah.
And then about a day or so later, Mama gets it out and she's like, "Hey, Skyler, I saved
I
that
think you
Joe
still need to
Biden
vote
thing."
for Joe Biden.
No, dude, no.
Oh. Uh-oh. We're getting a phone call. Do you need to answer it?
So I was.
Okay, man. Be cool. Be cool. Be cool. Be cool, man. Be cool. You're trying your best to be cool. They can't hear you, man. Gotta have your mic.
Fuck a duck.
Fuck a duck.
So where was I?
I don't know where you was, man. I don't even remember what you was talking about, if you want me to be honest with you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, that makes me a piece of shit, don't it?
Nah, don't make you a piece of shit.
Oh.
Fuck.
Fucking
Shut the fuck
up. Damn it.
Fucking bastard.
Golly. Okay, what was it? What is it?
I'm trying to.
You're just trying to remember.
Dude.
Okay, I remember what it was.
What?
You was talking about your teacher.
Joe Biden shit.
Joe Biden.
So,
we was talking about Joe Biden.
So I told Mama
to tell Joe Biden to shove it up his fucking ass.
Dude, listen.
Sorry. I wasn't being cool. Be cool.
Dude. So I told Mom about wanted to tear it and burn it. So I go home. I didn't think about it for about a day or two, and then Mama brings it up. She's like, "Skyler, I got that paper if you want to tear it up."
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of the fucking floor.
You're just laying in the middle of the floor.
Yeah. I was laying in the middle of the fucking floor.
Yeah.
Tearing this fucking paper up.
Tearing that shit up.
Tearing that paper up. And
she was like, "You got the wrong paper."
No, dude.
Oh.
No, dude.
Okay.
So, he was I was sitting there tearing it up, and then I took it. I'd go up there and talk to my neighbor back then, sit and talk shit. I would talk shit, and we would sit there and laugh and talk shit and just hang out and
have a good time.
Shoot shit, yeah. Have a good time.
Hell yeah.
So I took it over to her house, and I had it all in a cup. When I'd tear the little pieces up and I'd put them in a cup.
Yeah.
So I took the cup over there when I finally got all of it tore up. And I told her, I said, "I'm gonna burn this. It's a Joe Biden. It's a Joe Biden thing, and I'm gonna burn
it
bitch
to high heaven."
And
you're burning in high heaven.
I burn it.
About did.
I put it in the fire, and I about
burned
pissed
yourself
on it. I about pissed on it too. Yeah.
Damn. So you told your mama to tell Joe Biden to shove it.
No, I told the fire.
You just straight up told Joe Biden.
I told the pieces of paper. I said, You
can kiss my ass.
Tell your master he can shove his dick up his ass."
Okay, be cool. Yeah, that's that man. Man, well, we can see where you stand with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Well, what about
it was all really a joke though.
Oh yeah, it was all a joke. You don't wish harm upon nobody, do you?
No, I mean I still don't like Joe Biden, but I don't wish him any harm.
Yeah, we don't we don't incite violence of any kind.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. We're not with all that violent stuff.
It wouldn't do much good.
It wouldn't do anything for us. Exactly.
It'd just be another crazy motherfucker get in office and
replace him and throw up the signs, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's been getting pretty good. Bro, I've been reading Trump's book.
Donald Trump's got a book?
Yeah, Art of the Deal. It's a very famous book. Very well-known book.
Huh.
You didn't know about that? I think that he has several books. I think that he has that book, and he has He has one that he wrote with Robert Kiyosaki. Do you know Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah.
He wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, he wrote that book, and
Trump wrote that?
No. Robert Kiyosaki wrote that book, and then they wrote a book together. Robert Kiyosaki and Trump, they wrote a book together.
Oh.
But Trump wrote a
okay.
book with some other guy, and it's called Art of the Deal. But it's basically like a biography, like an autobiography of his life, kind of. But in the sense of, deal making.
Dude, I read his son's book.
Donald Trump Jr.?
Yeah.
He has a book. What is his book?
Triggered. It's called Triggered.
I feel like I've heard of that before. I feel like I heard of that, definitely.
It's basically talking about like how people get triggered nowadays over stupid shit.
Yeah.
No,
they definitely do. He's going to be a big time.
I haven't read it in a good minute, but it was a really good book.
It's about how what again?
It's just about how a lot of people get triggered, how people get so triggered and, fucked up about stupid shit.
Yeah, why people are sensitive about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that he's going to get into politics. I think he's going to step up and get into politics more. Don Jr. Shout out. Oh, gosh. Shout out
to Donald Trump Jr.
Shout out
to Donald Trump. Fuck Kamala Harris.
God dang. Straight up polarize it.
Fuck that cunt.
God dang, man. Be cool.
No, dude. I'm not going to be cool when it comes to her because, dude, fuck her.
Have you listened to their debate?
I can't stand to hear her fucking speak.
Have you listened to her last debate?
No, I honestly haven't listened to her last debate.
Trump. It's with Trump. They did it on. Yeah, but they did it on
I listened to parts of it and
they did it on like CSNBC.
I didn't care about anything Kamala Harris had to say. Her whole fucking campaign is based off of fucking abortions. I mean,
that's probably like the biggest leading factor in the way that she's persuading the elections.
That's all she's fucking talking about is abortion.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things in the fucking world going on that's fucking worse than having a fucking, abortion.
I think that's probably the
human rights. Why the fuck are we so in arms about fucking abortions when we have laws where if the girl got raped or incest or something like that, they can have an abortion. But as far as having, abortions just because and
because people are irresponsible.
If people are irresponsible and they don't keep their fucking skirt down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or their dicks out their pants.
Or keep your dick in your pants.
Yeah, come on.
It
works both ways.
Exactly.
It definitely works both ways. Yeah.
So if her
accountability, we need to start preaching more accountability.
Exactly. We need to start being more accountable for our actions and what who we put in office.
Yeah.
This is what the things we've got to think about come this November, man.
Yeah, this is America, you guys. Yeah, that's a big thing too, that there are just so many un-American people out there nowadays in America that it's unreal. They're truly anti-American, and it really kind of disgusts me because
even in the government.
Why do you think that there's millions of immigrants trying to get into this country every single year? Because America's the best country that's ever been. Period. I think it's the greatest country of all time. And there's not another country out there that's like it. And I think that America is the leading country in about everything.
And as far as the immigrants coming, I'm all for, there's probably, there's probably immigrants that's come over illegally that have actually started, tried to do something and build something.
There's so many of them. I know so many of them personally.
But a lot of them just come and not, these foreign countries just send the dregs of their jail over here. And
yeah.
And then what do you know?
They're
We got a whole fucking criminal empire over here.
They definitely are because
that's spreading all this shit like fentanyl and fucking
fentanyl. Yes,
you know, all these drug cartels and shit.
Well, if we got
that's what we're letting in our fucking, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was right. When everybody made fun of him whenever old buddy said something about the Haitian migrants getting into, what was it? Was it Oklahoma? Well, Ohio?
I think
Springfield?
So.
It was Springfield.
Missouri.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Wherever the hell Springfield's at. He was saying how the Haitian migrants were going there, and they was like grouping up, and they was eating the cats and dogs. And it turns out to be true.
It's fucked up.
Turns out that they interviewed people there that lived in Springfield, and they all attested to them witnessing the migrants eating the dogs and cats.
I mean,
or taking them.
Let's face the facts. Like, in a Chinese restaurant, you know, the government basically planned a virus that would, you know, it affected the whole fucking world.
You talking about China?
Yeah, COVID.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother discussion in its own, because the virus. I mean, the lab that the virus came out of was actually American funded,
Exactly.
American and Chinese funded, from my understanding, but mostly American funded.
Mostly American funded, and that's, you know. The government doesn't want that. You know, the government doesn't want you to find certain shit out.
Yeah, shout out Dr. Fauci.
Because that was their way of getting Joe Biden in office. And I sat and watched that fucking election in 2020.
Yeah, bro, I did too. I didn't vote. I should have voted. I really didn't vote, and I really should have. You did?
I did.
So, are you registered to vote this year?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Not this year, but I'm going to. This week, I think I'm gonna go. You know, because I think people should put their voice out there, man.
Yeah, actually,
and
early voting is tomorrow.
A lot of people sit there and say, "Oh well, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter." Well, you know, even if it don't.
Doesn't matter right now. It will matter.
Putting your voice out there and letting people know, hey, this is who I'm voting for. This is who I entrust to be in office.
Yeah, and I think that.
And don't throw the fucking Trump votes away this time, damn it.
Hell yeah.
Play fair.
Play fair. Definitely.
Of course they're not going to.
Definitely play fair. But no, for real, I think that it is definitely an important thing to do, especially for Americans, is to have open conversation. And if you have an opinion, state your opinion. That's like the biggest part of being American, is you are able to state your opinion regardless of what it is. And I think that everybody should state their opinion and have a reason also as to why they have an opinion. Not only should they have an opinion, but they should also have a reason as to why they have that opinion.
Exactly. Not just because they seen it on a fucking website or fucking the news or something.
And if somebody, I don't really more or less mind where people get their information from, as long as they are getting the correct information. And I think that the way that you're able to do that is have multiple streams of information. So maybe getting information from here, getting information from here, getting information from here, and see which ones line up, instead of only getting your information from one source. And then that makes you more narrow-minded and not as open-minded, because you're only getting it from one source. So if you source out into other ways of obtaining information and other information sources, then you're able to learn more about a subject.
Right.
Because not only do you learn more about the subject, but you may find out that what you've heard from these other lines of information may be untrue. So I think that people should definitely be open and understandable about the things that they hear and the things that they believe in. And I think that they should attest to it too. They should also have conversations with people that disagree with them. That's why I'm always a big advocate of getting people on the podcast that I disagree with, but it's hard to find people that I disagree with or people that disagree with me and then them having the ability to express why they disagree with me. I think that that's a big problem. People don't have the ability to speak how they feel. And whenever it comes to politics, I don't like having the conversation of how you feel about it, because it may be an emotional thing because these people are making laws that affect people not just individually but as a whole. So I understand why people get emotional about it and kind of relate it to feelings, but a country's kind of like a business. I think that it should be ran like a business because that's kind of what it is. They get taxpayer money and then they have to, fund the government. They have to fund the things that the American people need, and they need to figure out what the American people need.
Instead of what the government wants.
Instead of what the people that are in power of the government want. And especially the bureaucrats out there, and they're just taking in money or they're just in there and making money and just making so much money. And then, I think that it can be hard to make money in politics, but if you get the right sources, it's not as hard as people think.
I think open conversation should be highly advocated.
Open conversation, definitely.
Open conversation. I mean, let's face the facts, everybody.
Let's face the facts.
If we never have open conversation, how are we going to learn anything?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just kind of poking at earlier whenever I said something about you and being in politics. Like, I was just kind of kidding because, just whatever you want to do. I don't know if that's what you want to get into or not, but because it is kind of, it's a nasty game. Politics is like a nasty game, but
I feel like,
I'm just saying, the reason that I said that was because you are able to articulate what you think. And some people aren't even able to do that.
I really appreciate that, man.
Hell yeah. And you talk a lot, but that can't be a good thing. No, it definitely is a good thing, especially whenever you're trying to articulate yourself, because the more you talk, the more that you learn, especially whenever it's recorded, and then you can go back and listen to yourself, and then you can adjust how you speak to people based off of the history of you speaking to people.
Right.
And kind of like it's kind of like documented, like having conversation. That's why I love the podcast so much, because it's a documentary basically of conversations. It's like basically like a conversation documentary.
Right.
You can witness 100. You can witness almost 300 conversations here.
And I feel like when I'm advocating for
violence,
Blind Awareness Month, I can I feel like I am somewhat involved with politics in a way, because the
blind politics.
Right. I mean, the way blind people are looked at nowadays, and the way the government is trying to keep us down and keep us in this lower class, when we, like, for example, when we make SSI money, Social Security income.
Yeah.
When we make SSI money and we get like 5 or 6, sometimes like $800, and if we try to get a job, they and we're making so much on the job, then they take the SSI money away from us. It's like, hey, we don't want you to be taking much of our money when you don't need it. And I'm like,
yeah.
What? That's just their way. We're paying your taxes anyway, fucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I can
We're
kinda see
paying
what
your
you're saying.
taxes anyway, so why are you taking our money away from us? If we make a certain amount, like certain amount of that goes right back to you through fucking taxes anyway.
Yeah.
So
So
you know,
why can't you just
why,
do with what
why
you got?
bother? Exactly.
Why bother?
I know it's what it is. This multi-billion-dollar, they make billions of fucking dollars on taxes alone, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all these money, all these people, in power. They just get, taxes are gonna go up. Like Kamala Harris, she's, taxes are gonna go up if she gets in it, and then guess what? That means more money in her pocket.
Yeah. More money in her pocket.
That's I feel like that's what she cares about the most. And abortion, of course. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing that's driving her campaign.
She's advocating for. Exactly. That's driving her campaign.
Why y'all think that she went on Call Her Daddy?
Exactly.
You heard of that? You know what that is?
What?
Call Her Daddy. It's a podcast. It's like a late feminist, like a feminist podcast.
Oh yeah, I can see.
And they talk about like all kinds of crazy stuff on there, like
abortions and stuff.
Well, and then like wild stories that
I honestly couldn't see her doing long-term comments or long-term podcasts or
yeah. Well, she's not good at it at all. She's not. She's very awkward.
I don't see how people think she's gonna be fit to run the country.
Yeah, I can't see that either. I really truly cannot see that.
I mean,
I really can't. And I'm trying. I've been here recently on the podcast, trying not to dive as much into politics because sometimes it is kind of polarizing because not everybody believes in the same thing and not everybody wants to hear about politics.
Right.
But it's somebody, especially whenever we're talking about the presidential races. These people are in a competition to the people to figure out who they think is best to run the country that you live in. So, don't you think that it's kind of important to have a good, all-around good figure that is strong, competent, and willing to take on tasks, and a very responsible person? It's a hard job. I would have to say that it's a hard job.
And even if you don't agree with everything Trump says, or if you think he's whatever or this or that or the third, I would honestly trust Donald Trump to run our country more than I would Kamala Harris.
Well, and
that's not even political bias. That's just me.
It's not.
It's me really basing things off what I've seen.
Seriously, because I'm really not either one. I'm an independent.
Me too.
And so
I am too.
So I think that there is certain qualifications that you need to have in order to run a country. If you're going to run a country, you need to at least have ran a business.
And you have at least need to have some common sense.
And I've been reading this book that Trump wrote about the art of the deal, and I've been reading it from the perspective of because he wrote it whenever he was in his 40s. And I've been reading it from the perspective of just a regular business person, a business guy that is giving his story about, his successes and his mistakes that he's made and the people that he's dealt with and just how he goes about deal making. And it's an all-around good business book. I've just been reading it from the perspective of just him just being a regular person, not a political perspective. And really, it's actually a very, very good book. The book itself is a very good book, and I recommend people listen to or read his book. I really do recommend it. It's actually free on YouTube right now. I don't know if it's supposed to be free.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be
Heck
free,
yeah.
but it's free right now. So I've been
Go read Trump Jr.'s book.
Yeah, I need to go read that. But he's an all-around good businessman.
Right.
From my perspective, what I've seen and from the information that I've taken in is that he's an all-around good businessman. He wouldn't be worth what he's worth right now if he wasn't a good businessman. And there's so many wild accusations against him. It's insane. It's insane that people call him racist. I think that's another thing too, is that people will pull anything out of their ass to try to get at a political opponent.
I think a lot of people that use the word racist nowadays, I think racist has become less of, racial slurs or racial
like this person actually
like
hates the opposite race.
The opposite race, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
It's not like somebody who hates the opposite race or says mean things to the opposite race. It's more, I just don't like you.
Yeah, that's what it's been. That's what that's the whole cancel culture is surrounded around that. It's that they're trying to cancel
Nazi.
people that they don't like.
I've heard a lot of people throw that one around, Nazi, or something of that nature.
RFK Jr. Went into the conversation of he's been in the. I think that he's been in the House, or he's been in hearings of the Senate or the House. I'm not sure which one, but talking about how he was censored and how he's suing. I'm pretty sure he's suing the federal government because they censored him during any time the federal government was censoring him. And I don't think it was directly the federal government, but it was people surrounding the federal government was pressuring the people that own these big social media companies like Facebook. Those pressure Mark Zuckerberg, and he even admitted it. He even admitted that the government was pressuring him, or the Biden administration, to be specific, I'm pretty sure, was pressuring him to censor information that they didn't want out there to the public. And I see why he's suing, because that completely just strips away people's First Amendment right.
Exactly.
If you're going to censor people, actually, there shouldn't be any censorship. If you're going to censor people, then you shouldn't do it at all. I just don't think that you shouldn't censor anybody at all. And he was making the argument of all speech should be allowed, especially including the speech that we disagree with. I 100% agree with that, because there should be all kinds of speech of any sort of kinds.
Exactly. There should be, right.
And and he was also making the point of the fact checking, the quote unquote fact checking that these social media things do.
They don't fact check correctly.
They quote unquote fact check, and he was saying how the fact checkers were actually wrong. Who fact checks the fact checkers? He was saying that the fact checks that they were doing were completely wrong, and he had evidence to back up why they were completely wrong.
I think the fact checkers nowadays are more concerned about what they consider fact.
Yeah, and that also goes into whenever they also use the terminology of that's not my truth.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is your truth?
What is your truth compared to somebody else's? Like, your truth could be completely different to mine.
Yes, but at the same time, there's it lays in the bed of reality.
Right.
That's the problem that we have here, is that people are confused, so they say that it's their truth, but in reality, their truth is out of touch of reality.
Right.
But they just disguise it as saying it's their
reality
truth because it goes against reality. And
because
then and then that's their argument. It's like, it's my truth.
The traditional values, family values are going out the fucking window nowadays, dude. I mean, it's I
know exactly where you're going with this. And Charlie Kirk, are you familiar with Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I think
he is phenomenal at public speaking. He's very, very good. He does it for a living. This is what he does for a living. He's a professional. And he brought up the idea to me that, I listened to one of his videos, and he brought up the idea that, I think that he was in a debate, and he was explaining to the person that this whole country was built off of, and it is, needless to say, it's the greatest country to have ever existed. Regardless of where it was, it is now the greatest country to ever exist. And people have more rights now than they ever have in human history. Now, with that being said, he was explaining that that this whole country was built off of Christianity. One nation under God. And, whenever we, as a nation, get out of touch with what the roots are of this country and what the foundation that this whole country was founded all on, if we get off of that, then we're able to crumble as a country,
man,
and just it kind of get dismantled from the bottom up, because you're taking out the foundation. If you take out the foundation of a house, the whole entire house is going to fall down. And the whole country was built off of, that's why we have In God We Trust. You see?
Exactly.
There's so many correlations in the government to God.
Something I was going to talk about.
And if you break down like the Declaration of Independence, and it talks about, I'm pretty sure it talks about God,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Thomas Jefferson was some sort of a Christian. He was like I don't know what the hell he was.
This nation
some sort
was
of
based off of
the founding
freedom
fathers,
of religion.
The founding fathers was mostly Christian. So this country was founded off of a certain religion. It's founded off of Christianity, but the whole reason that this country was founded is because these people disagreed with the way that their country was being ran. So then they went and started their own country and made it in such a way where the people are free to believe whatever they want to believe. And so then the opinions go along with that. Everybody has their own opinions, and they go along with that. But you got to also be aware of the foundation of the country and what our morals and beliefs all around as a society is based off of. Because there's a standard to civilization. And, each civilization is responsible for pointing out what the foundation is.
I feel like we're getting farther and farther. Like you said, that, the foundation was on Christianity and Christ.
Yeah.
And
just some sort of even
belief in it. And
yeah, even like aside from that, like just aside from the whole, Christianity point, it was just based off of the belief that even if it wasn't specifically Christianity, just the whole principle that God exists. Right. And that God is looking over us.
Freedom of religion.
But that's the freedom of religion. Exactly. People
so we
believe whatever.
And Christians are especially in tune to, getting canceled, and, we can't speak our views on what the world, what America should be, are getting overlooked. And, people are saying, fuck the Christian belief, but to say that is to say a bunch of other things. Like you're saying that you don't believe the American, what America was built on, and Christianity. The Christianity was that was how, like you said, most of the founding fathers were Christians.
Yeah.
And
somewhat of a Christian.
If just like you said with the house, if you take the foundation of the house away, the house is going to crumble.
Exactly.
And like if you take God away from our nation, it's eventually going to crumble. God is going to, he's eventually going to say, all right, you obviously haven't learned your lesson. I've done my best to try to keep, to keep it, keep you safe from anything happening, but
I ain't going to do it no more. You keep on fucking up.
Right. I mean, in the Bible, he let Israel get taken captivity for 70 years.
Yeah.
If he allowed his own people to be taken into captivity,
imagine what he's going to do to you.
Imagine what he's going to do to America.
He's going to destroy us.
I'm being dead serious as I can when I say this, everybody, but we really need to start reading our Bibles. We really need to start coming back to God as a nation, because we're,
one nation
we're
under
living
God.
Exactly. We
need to come together.
We're living in the end times. You
really think so?
I do think so, because if you think about it, dude, so much stuff has happened in the span of. I think it really started in 2016.
I don't think so. I don't think that we're in the end times.
Some people don't, and I just the way I see it, I grew up with, Christian, mama and papa, they helped raise me in the faith.
Yeah,
and I see some of this stuff around me, and some of the stuff the Bible talks about happening, like, your children, not respecting your parents and stuff like that. And like, it's always, the whole children things are all always happen, but especially now, like, we're not. A lot of the parents are. Oh gosh, I that's a whole nother topic. So we, I do see, some of the things, like when Christians talk about, they think we're in the end times and they say all the stuff that's going on. It's kind of hard to deny it. And some people disagree, and
I don't think that we're,
like I said, that's okay. This is. So why do you think we're not in the end times?
I don't know. People have been saying that we're in the end times for forever. There's plenty of books that people had wrote back in the days. Just anytime back in the days, right, where they was explaining why it's the end times and why.
Okay, look, dude.
But they were in a different time, like maybe the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 80s times. But they was saying how they was in the end times, right. But
I know what you're saying.
It's still not as. But and at the same time,
we'll never know when exactly. We'll never know.
The end times we'll never know. We'll never know.
But I feel like we're getting close.
It's an interesting conversation to have, though. But I'm saying that they fudge, man. I done damn lift off my bucket, dude.
I'm gonna build off of what you were saying.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, you see, 2000, 1999. Everybody thought 2000 was gonna be the end times.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps predicting.
Some people said 2012.
Some people
that was
said
the end
2012.
of the Mayan calendar.
Right, because what I have to say about that is, yeah, you saw stuff back then, but the Christians didn't really. I don't think they were really thinking it was, because
Well, that's what the other thing I was gonna say. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Because I'm trying to articulate it, but all those were basically just people speculating, and the Bible itself says nobody, not Jesus didn't even know when he walked the earth. So if he didn't know, that's telling you something, but he does talk about, the Bible does talk about some of the things that will happen before the end times. And I feel like some of that stuff, and a lot of Christians feel like some of that stuff is happening now.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying. The other point that I was gonna make was that there's so much divisiveness given to us as well. It's to an extent, I believe it could be some sort of propaganda by some other government. I believe, don't get me carried away with my conspiracy theories here.
Yeah.
But I think that some of the things that we watch and why our algorithms are so polarizing on social media and in general is because there's some sort of propaganda being put in our face, and the propaganda is, completely polarizing, making us pick a side. They're making us pick a side to an extent,
right?
Because they want us divided,
right?
And a lot of the entertainment that we consume too is actually catered towards what we enjoy. So that's what the algorithm does, is that it kind of caters to us. So we only see, or the majority of the things that we see is curated to one side whenever it comes to like politics or anything that we just enjoy in general. It'll cater what we see on our algorithm to what they think that we enjoy. And what we enjoy, we will consume more of. So it feeds into the algorithm as well. And I think that some propaganda can be purported in those instances because it's easier, because they know exactly what you like. So then they're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to put this in there and see how they react to it. And, just because they like this other content, we'll put this in here too. But with that being said, we see most of one side and it's talking about another side, the other side. And the same thing for the other side. They are only consuming information that is about the other side and some negative thing. So then both sides only see the negative in both of the sides. Right. But really, whenever you talk about these situations with other people, it's not as polarizing as it seems online, because online it seems like it's just so much hate in the world, and there's so much. But I don't think that people are consumed with hate. I really truly believe that probably like 90% of people are actually good people. And I think that, or just people with good intentions. We'll put it at that.
Right.
Not good people, because they may make mistakes and they may make decisions that influence the way that they're perceived by other people.
Right.
But I think the majority of people,
that was a better way to put it.
I think that at least 90% of people have good intentions in the things that they do.
They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. But I don't think that the country is as polarized as it's put out to be on the internet, especially like on Facebook or just on any social media, that just show you all the negative, because that's what's in the media. All that's in the media is negativity. And I noticed this too. I noticed this whenever I was a bit younger. Whenever I kept on, my parents would have the news on, and I would be watching it, and I just would realize, like, just the more and more I watched it, I was like, all this is negative. Like, they only have a specific segment. The news channel that they was watching only had one specific segment for good news, and it was literally called the Good News. And they would do one segment a day, which was not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes maybe, of material, or just one instance where it was good news.
That's where I started.
The rest of the whole entire show was completely negative news that got a reaction out of people and got people emotional, because that's what people like to watch. They like to watch the news because they want to see the next criminal. They want to see the next crime that was being committed. They want to see the next, and that's what's put on the news is crime. The news is filled with crime and,
crime, politics,
and things of that nature. And, it makes people polarized because that's all that they see. So that's all that they think that the country is about. And they don't really get out there and actually have conversations with people and understand how people actually are and understand the world a bit better from, a broader mindset.
Right.
Instead of just being narrow in this, like I was saying earlier, in one stream of information. Maybe indulge in other streams of information.
And just
get the bigger picture.
Just to loop back to what, the whole Blind Lives Matter thing, to wrap everything up.
Yeah.
The same goes for that. It's like, make people aware. Like, I don't just want you to go off of what I have to say about certain things, because
find out for yourself.
Exactly. Find out for yourself about, other blind people that may be going through some of this stuff, and you will find, like, most of the blind people. No, dude, most of the blind people I met are at home with their parents, and they're in their 20s and sometimes even 30s. I've ran across, and it's crazy, man, because a lot of these jobs, they just think, well, what if he gets hurt? What if something happens to him and we have to pay for it? Like, what if something happens to a sighted person? Are you gonna just fire everybody? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So, actually get out and have conversations with different blind people. And, there's not many blind people in Taylorsville, but I know some blind people in Charlotte. I know some people in Winston-Salem. I know some people around that area.
We got hoes in different area codes.
And, speaking, Natasha, she is from California. And, that was one of the biggest things for me, like, getting her on the podcast, because she's far away from us.
Yeah, shout out to Natasha.
Shout out Natasha. She's a really good friend.
For sure.
But it's like,
come on, man.
She's really far away from us, and in a big city at that. She's 10 minutes from the LAX airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So if it's going on around California, then I definitely think there needs to be some attention drawn to it.
I wonder if she met YG.
I don't know.
Or Kendrick. Or Dr. Dre.
Dude, I don't know.
Be cool, man.
I don't think I don't know. She might have. I don't know.
Well, I think that we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting a little tired.
Well, this is the Skyler Jarvis show.
Oh, this is Wholehearted Entertainment.
Okay,
Yeah.
just kidding. This is Wholehearted Entertainment. That's Skyler Jarvis.
I'm Skyler.
I'm Carson Bowman. Signing the fuck off.
Bitch.
Okay, that was overkill. Be cool, man.